This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning, this is Jack from Charting the Markets, and this is the pre-market webinar for the morning of Wednesday, the 4th of September. My disclaimer, I do this for educational purposes only. I'm here to share my technical analysis with you. I hope you can take some of what we're doing. I'm doing and learn from it, transfer it to your own charts. I'm not here to issue trading signals. Right. Okay, yesterday we saw the little double tops that I was talking about play out, and then they kept on going. This was the little double top on ES, so that played out pretty early. That got us back to about 5,600, and then it kept on going and made it almost to 5,500. Now this has made it down to a couple of the daily middle bands, and I'm watching for potential support here. We do have some weak buy signals here. These are the sort of things that can retest a low and turn into strong buy signals, of course, or continue down. We're pretty close to the monthly pivot support. We're hitting a couple of daily middle bands, and I'm looking for a bounce here, and then potentially lower. But the real key is monthly pivot if we can reach it, which is at 54.83 and was almost reached yesterday. If we were to come down and do a full test of that, bounce off it, we could get a really nice buy signal. And I'm thinking we might get that. NQ didn't quite retest the lows, so we don't have a weak buy signal here. We do have one on RTY, and we do have one on YM. We've got one, we don't have one on DAX, and we do have one on ESTX, but I would stress that these are all weak buy signals. So they're all inviting retests and stronger divergences to form, but there's a pretty good chance of seeing a bounce here. I would stress, though, that looking at my my post last week, I was talking about election September being historically weak. We may be seeing significant further downside in September. And obviously this is only the beginning of September, so we will see. But I'm thinking that equities are not looking set up to have a particularly good month here. So we will have to see how it goes, but I wouldn't be at all surprised to see quite a lot more downside this month. Right, looking at Dow, I had a look, and we have actually lost this divergence. It looked as though we just about kept it, but actually we'd almost exactly lost it. So we don't have a sell signal here. We do have one on ES, which is now reaching the possible near miss target area, and on SPX, which was a little short of it. We are testing the daily middle band, which is a very, very obvious and fairly sizable support level. So watching with interest. We do have double tops here. If you can see on my ES chart, the double top here has broken down with a target in about the 54-55 area. We could make that target, and it's a nice looking double top. It's so watching with interest here, but certainly it looks like we're having a bit of a rally here, and we do have some RSI support for that. Let's have a look at the hourly charts and others. Hourly chart, RSI 14 sell signal has reached the possible near miss target. Has Dow reached its one finally? No, not quite. That is suggesting some more downside. We may form larger patterns. We're getting pretty close to a possible head and shoulder neckline on Dow here. Looking at NDX, NDX, I've got this still drawn as a flag. And this very much is a potential flag. 60-minute RSI 14 sell signals reached possible near miss target a while ago, of course. On the daily chart, no current divergence, and not likely to get any, and we have broken down below the daily middle band here, so that middle band support has not held on NDX. NDX has been the weakest, so it was the only one where I was thinking it probably wouldn't retest the high. I was hoping IWM would, and I was hoping that SPX would, and neither of them did. And that does increase the chances that what we're looking at here is some kind of a flag forming, setting up that retest. All right, hourly chart on IWM, nothing. Could this be an overall flag forming which could go considerably lower while it's forming that flag? Yes, it could. So our daily chart, no divergence, and we are pretty close. We got basically to the test of the daily middle band. So on the daily middle band, we're testing it on IWM, we're testing it on SPX, we're close-ish to a test on Dow, and we've broken it on NDX. This is an important support level. We'll see what happens here. Looks like a bear flag forming so far, and the signal setup is an invitation to a retest of yesterday's low. So we will see how it goes. On the bigger picture, we do have a couple of big fairly impressive looking level tops here, but we don't have SPX as one of them, which weakens the setup in my view. But we've got a huge, beautiful level top setup here on DAX, and we've got another one on Dow. Dow, that is nice. It's very, very nice, but it's not backed up by the SPX one. I'm doubtful about that making target. If that was to make target, that would be a very sizable decline. This would get us back. Basically, this would be a 10% decline if this made target, and more. It's that would be impressive. In fact, this would go down 6,000. It would be a 14% decline approximately. I'm not really expecting to see that, and I think it would be more likely if we'd retested the high on SPX, which we haven't done. All right, great. Let's have a look at DX. DX. I mean, amid all the excitement yesterday, it was easy to see that DX did almost nothing. So we will see how that goes. Still leaning towards the upside here. It's a nice looking setup. ZB had a decent day. No current negative divergence, but we broke up over this declining resistance. I was thinking this might well be a flag, and we may well be setting up for a retest of this high here, which would be in about the 125.16 area. CL made it down to 69. And this is what I've been warning about on the daily chart. So let's just have a quick recap about that. So hang on, bear with me a second. But what I've been warning about, actually both on oil and on natural gas, is that we might break down from these triangles, and we have broken down from this triangle. Now, the obvious target for this triangle is a retest of this low here at 63.57, and actually, if we do that, then we will make a potential double bottom here for a much larger move up. But I think I'm leaning towards seeing the 63.57 tested. And I would note that yesterday, this inverted head and shoulders had a low at 71.41, and we'd held it here at 71.67, and we held it here at 71.46, and we broke it yesterday. So that has broken the IHS, and that has a target back at 67.71, but the triangle target is down at 63.57. Looking at natural gas, this triangle isn't as mature as the as the oil one, but I gotta say I'm wondering about the retest the low here too. And if oil's going to be dragged down into the low retest there, then I think natural gas may well go with it. All right, natural gas, nothing really to report at the moment. I'm trying to crawl back over the monthly pivot. GC, I was saying that if we were to form flags here, we could go considerably lower, and we could see a test of 2,500 at on GC, and we've seen it. Could this be a low? No current sign of divergence really. So we will see how that goes. But yes, potentially this could well find support here, and it's an important level. So do we have an obvious flag here? Not particularly. But so we will see how this goes. But this is a potential double bottom. The key thing is dollar going to turn back down here? It could, but the obvious move is up. We've got a 60-minute buy signal fixed here on silver. Sorry, I've still got it in as brewing, but it is actually fixed. We'll see how that goes too. But we've pretty much made it to the first of the double top targets here. On HG, we've got a 60-minute buy signal, which is fixed. And we've got a little double bottom here. This looks like it's going to see a rally as well. All right, let's have a look at USD. Not quite made it to the head and shoulder target. Possible flag breaking up, but I'm leaning towards seeing more downside. GBP USD holding a resistance trend line nicely. USD JPY made the sell signal target, just consolidating sideways really. USD CAD, nice little rally here, made the very small inverted shoulder target. If we were to form a larger pattern, I'd be wondering about forming an IHS near the monthly pivot at 1.3627. Looking at Australian dollar, there's probably a head and shoulders in here. I haven't marked it in, but we'll be pretty close to the target either way. Leaning towards probably seeing a bit lower, maybe a test of the monthly pivot at 66.51. On NZ, we've got a 60-minute buy signal fixed, broken the rising support slightly, but may well see a rally here. KC still looks like a bull flag forming. SB is still thinking about whether it's going to head off to these targets here in the 20.4 to 20.6 area. CC, we've seen a hard breakdown. Now there is a head and shoulders here. I haven't marked it in because I haven't quite decided whether the neckline is going to be sloping or flat. If it's sloping, it's already almost made target, and that's probably the better head and shoulders here. Keeping an open mind, is this a flag? It looks too big to be a flag, but we might nonetheless come down and hit the rising support, which is down here in about the 65.25 area. Looking at CT, still thinking about whether it's going to head up towards these targets around 75. On ZW, nice rally here. We're getting up into potential inverted head and shoulder necklines. Corn had a sell signal here yesterday. It did nothing and went higher. This could be a inverted head and shoulders breaking up, but it's just too ugly. I haven't marked any of the targets. Soy went up a bit and is trying to convert the monthly pivot to support. Could see considerably more upside if we do that. We've got a 60-minute sell signal fixed. Lumber has broken up and back tested the likely bull flag here, leaning towards seeing a retest of this high here in the 548 area. Live cattle broke up from this falling wedge as well, back tested, seeing some more upside. We've got a potential level bottom here, which could take us back up into a retest of the high. And lean hogs still continuing higher. Nice looking little potential level top here at the moment, and we do have a 60-minute sell signal fixed. We could see a retrace and a possible test of the monthly pivot at 78.85. All right, let's have a look. It could be. We could well find resistance on NQ and RTY at the monthly pivot. I would say that this kind of minimal divergence at the low and weak buy signals is kind of inviting a retest of the lows to set up better buy signals if we're going to see a better bounce. If we're going to retest those lows, then those probably are the maximum. What I would say, though, is the two leaders here are YM, which hasn't reached the monthly pivot yet, and SPX, stroke ES, which again hasn't reached the monthly pivot of support yet. So these are still holding support. They're both holding the daily middle bands. The only one that's lost the daily middle band at the moment is NQ, and we could well find support at those. If we're going to see a larger rally here, I'm leaning towards seeing a low retest and then up, but we do see weak buy signals play out target on a pretty regular basis, quite a lot actually. So and you see them pretty often, but we've got plenty of room for a retest here to set up decent buy signals, and my lean would be that we're probably going to do that. All right, great. Well, my pleasure as always, guys. Should be an interesting month, I think. I think this is far from the last downside we're going to see this month. We will see how it goes. All right, catch you guys later.